In the rolling hills of Umbria, in the year 1181 or 1182, a child was born into a wealthy merchant family in the bustling town of Assisi. This child, named Giovanni di Pietro di Bernardone but known to history as Francis, would grow to become one of Christianity's most beloved saints, a radical reformer, whose approach to prayer and relationship with God would inspire millions across centuries. Francis's early life was marked by privilege and worldly ambition. As a young man, he dreamed of knightly glory and enjoyed the comforts his father's textile business provided. But through a series of profound encounters, including a period of imprisonment during a local war, a mysterious illness, and a gradual awakening to spiritual realities, Francis underwent a dramatic conversion. He famously renounced his inheritance in the public square of Assisi, choosing instead to embrace Lady Poverty and follow Christ in the most literal way possible. What made Francis extraordinary was not merely his asceticism, but his revolutionary approach to prayer. For Francis, prayer was not confined to chapels or recited formulas. It was a continuous, living dialogue with God that permeated every aspect of existence. He discovered the divine presence not only in traditional religious settings but in lepers' wounds and birdsong, in the warmth of the sun and in the vulnerability of the poor. His spirituality was characterized by a profound sense of intimacy. He spoke to God as a child speaks to a parent, with complete trust and wonder. At the heart of Franciscan prayer was the passionate imitation of Christ. Francis sought not just to admire Jesus from a distance, but to embody his teachings, especially Christ's poverty, humility, and compassion. He prayed with his entire being, often spending whole nights in prayerful ecstasy. His famous reception of the stigmata, the wounds of Christ on Mount Laverna in 1224, represents the ultimate culmination of this desire for mystical union. Francis's spirituality also expressed itself through a revolutionary relationship with creation. His Canticle of the Creatures, composed near the end of his life, reveals a worldview where sun, moon, wind, water, and even death are addressed as siblings. This was not pantheism but panentheism, seeing God in all things while recognizing God's transcendence beyond all things. For Francis, every element of creation became a window into the divine, and caring for the environment was an act of worship. His approach to prayer was remarkably accessible. He encouraged frequent, simple communion with God throughout the day's ordinary activities. He valued both structured prayer and spontaneous outbursts of praise. Silence and contemplation were essential, but so was active service. For Francis, feeding the poor or repairing a chapel were themselves forms of prayer. The prayers attributed to him, particularly the peace prayer, "Lord, make me an instrument of your peace," and the Canticle of the Sun, have become timeless expressions of his spirit. Though the peace prayer likely emerged later within the Franciscan tradition, it perfectly captures Francis's ethos of self-emptying love and reconciliation. The Canticle of the Sun remains one of the earliest works of literature in the Italian vernacular, a joyful, poetic masterpiece that celebrates God's presence throughout the natural world. Francis's legacy invites us to practice prayer as a way of being, rather than merely a ritual. He suggests beginning with gratitude, consciously naming the gifts of each day. He encourages meditation on Christ's life, particularly the humility of the Incarnation and the cross. He urges intercession for others, especially the marginalized, and he challenges us to conclude with a commitment to serve, seeing every person we meet as Christ himself. More than 8 centuries after his death, Francis of Assisi continues to speak across time and tradition. He reminds us that prayer is about presence, showing up fully to God, to others, and to the world around us. His life demonstrates that holiness is not about escape from creation, but deeper engagement with it. His invitation remains open, to transform each moment into an offering, each encounter into communion, and each day into a living prayer.